Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. It's a little bit of an upside down kind of day. Temperature's actually a bit warmer as you move your way up through central New England and upstate New York. We've got readings there mostly in the lower 80s, and most of the inland highs are generally in the lower 80s across New Jersey and into Pennsylvania. But right along the coast with that wind off the ocean, temperatures are in the 70s. And there's more cloud cover as you go south, which is holding temperatures down as well. We're seeing temperatures in the low and middle 70s in much of central and south Jersey down into Delaware, and then those numbers pick up a bit as we move further south into Maryland and into Virginia, where we start to pick up into some middle 80s for highs. It's humid. The dew points have actually dropped a bit from New York City northward. We've got dew points mostly in the upper 50s to around or just over 60. Maybe a touch sticky, but totally manageable. And then you head down further south into South Jersey and southern Pennsylvania and points south, and you've got dew points that are sitting up in the 70s. And there's your boundary, really, from the hot, let's call it very warm to hot and humid air that's triggering off afternoon thunderstorms in parts of the Tennessee Valley and southeast and into the Carolinas. You can see the lightning flashes here on the satellite loop. And in the meantime, we have this boundary that's kind of right in the middle, right about here, and to the north of that, the weather is a bit more reasonable. I wouldn't call it dry and pleasant by any means, but again, as you start to go north of New York City and points northward, you've got those lower dew points. Now, there are going to be some changes on the way. We've got the next cold front that is setting up, and you can start to see that weather system here as it begins to organize out in the middle and upper Mississippi Valley. The radars this evening, as we take a look at the radar from 4:10 p.m. Eastern Time, there were some morning showers in southern New Jersey and in southeastern PA from a little disturbance that came by. Those are out offshore. The radars are quiet from Maine until you get down into southern Virginia and into North Carolina, particularly over northwestern South Carolina and northern Georgia. We're seeing some stronger activity here with some heavier thunderstorms developing and moving southward toward Atlanta, and also in the southeastern part of Georgia, seeing some showers and storms there. A few severe thunderstorm warnings popping up in parts of Tennessee, and some other showers and a few thunderstorms in eastern Illinois, western Indiana, and those are moving eastward. Also, want to point out that we do have some heavy thunderstorm activity breaking out in parts of the Dakotas and in Nebraska. And while it's not there yet, it will be there in Montana. That's where the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk of severe weather and a working severe thunderstorm watch that went up just a little while ago. And we see the slight risk in this sort of narrow area from Missouri, and then it widens out into the southeast from southern Virginia down into northern Georgia. For tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center has a small area of slight risk in southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and on up into northern Kentucky. Marginal risk just about everywhere else in the southeast, and then another day of severe weather risks across Montana. It's been incredibly busy up in that part of the country this week as far as severe weather is concerned. Note that for tomorrow, the thunderstorm line cuts off in northern New Jersey and northern Pennsylvania. So around the Great Lakes and through much of the Northeast, excuse me, no thunderstorm activity is forecast. We actually do have a marginal risk in down east Maine, which you don't get to see too often. And then as we head on into day 3, which is Saturday into Sunday, the risk area is mostly in the southern mid-Atlantic, the southeast, the Gulf states, where we have a marginal risk. And we've got this slight risk area from Montana into North Dakota into western Minnesota. And rainfall over the next 7 days from central Long Island, south and west through New Jersey, southern Pennsylvania. You see half an inch to 3/4 of an inch, and then you start to get into the inch and a half amounts, and then some big amounts, excuse me, in the Carolinas, down through southern Georgia of 2 to 3 inches or more, and into the Gulf states, right along the immediate Gulf Coast, 2 to 3 inches or more there. up to a couple of inches extending northward into the Appalachians, mostly on the west side of the Appalachians, and then it tails off just a little bit as you head into the Ohio Valley. It also starts to tail off a little bit for the first time in a while in the northern plains and the west on the quiet side, because guess what? We're going to have a ridge that's going to be building out there. So just want to give you a quick look here at the upper air going forward. We've been talking about this persistent troughing in the eastern part of the United States. Well, guess what? It's going to remain persistent as we just take a look at the longer range GFS upper air, and this takes us into next week. You have a very, very standout flow from Canada that continues to remain busy here. So as long as that is the case, it can't get hot. And in the meantime, the heat ridge is going to bulge a little bit, but it's going to do it in the Rockies. So expect the heat areas to shift westward next week for at least a little while. And beyond that, we still see evidence of troughing dropping into the east. Here's another one around the 19th and 20th. The ridge starts to slide eastward back into the plains, and you get this heat dome that's centered in Kansas and builds up northwest into the northern plains. So your hot weather is basically staying west of the Mississippi, while here in the east we just continue to deal with these troughs dropping down into the eastern part of the U.S. So we'll talk about Friday and the weekend here and figure out what's going on. The issue here is the timing of this cold front, which is a little bit slower than what we thought. I thought this thing would get through here Friday night and be offshore by Saturday morning, but it keeps getting slower and slower. So it looks like for tomorrow, it's just going to be a very warm and humid day, mid to upper 80s. Other than a scattered or isolated shower or thunderstorm, the day side should be dry. Tomorrow night, probably after, say, 9 or 10 o'clock, you'll start to get into some showers and maybe one or two thunderstorms. The front moves offshore. This is Saturday morning, and there's still some lingering showers around Saturday morning, particularly in South Jersey, down into Delaware and Maryland. But then finally, as a wave develops, that should bring an end to the showers during those morning hours, and we should start to see improvement from north to south from midday into the afternoon. Sunday looks like a very pleasant day with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s to around 80. Saturday's temperatures also upper 70s to around or just over 80. Monday looks good too, nice and dry. We've got another cold front that will approach sometime Tuesday night. Or perhaps this one slows down and doesn't come through until Wednesday. There's some hint of that there, that there's a lead trough that goes by, and then the real front waits until sometime later Wednesday. And then it looks like we've got another dry air mass coming in for the end of next week. So, as I've been saying, if you like heat and humidity, well, you got the humidity part to an extent today, and you will have it tomorrow, but doesn't last for more than a day or two, and then it turns pleasant again. So maybe that's how the whole summer is going to be. Certainly it's going to be like this for the next 10 days to 2 weeks. All right, folks, have a great evening. There's no Joe and Joe weather show tonight, so we'll be back on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We will hope to see you then, and otherwise we will see you later.